It's now day 13 inside of TitanX. We've had an absolutely insane launch. I've been relatively quiet because I've been focused on building. We're working on Hyper now. We launched a V2 buy and burn contract, which is now fully and completely decentralized. So that's pretty sick. So let's actually look over some of the supply statistics for TitanX. So for the people that don't know, TitanX is completely fair launch. There was no pre-sale, no SAC, no ICO, no fundraise, no nothing. Just completely fairly launched code on-chain. And it's playing out absolutely beautifully. There were a lot of short-term people in, which is why they kind of dumped and left. But guess what? This is beautiful. So the liquid supply is currently 476 billion-ish. 519 billion is staked, so more than the actual liquid is staked. Penalties are starting to come in. Close to 300 billion, actually more than 300 billion if you include the LP fees, has been burned. This is wild. This is insane. And this is only day 13. Nothing has been built. Hyper hasn't come out yet. Nothing has absolutely happened. And the V2 buy and burn contract is completely community owned. As you can see, there's currently 1.7 ETH sitting to be distributed, which is roughly 1.12 Ethereum going to the buy and burn, 1.12, 1.13, something like that. V1 still has $9.5 million in it. This will be slow released over time at completely unpredictable intervals, so whales cannot abuse it. This is here as a guardian angel or a sort of backstop to the ecosystem, so people can't abuse it. This is insane. Like, people don't fully understand how powerful this is. Now, when we look at the stats, this is beautiful. I like this a lot. I'll be doing more content going forward. Hyper's in development. I'll send out some information about Hyper soon. We've relatively dialed in the game theory. But Hyper, basically, TitanX is designed to be built upon so that the TitanX supply, you're going to be able to burn liquid and staked for Hyper. So staked TitanX can be burned and liquid TitanX can be burned. There's going to be some very interesting things with Hyper that are going to happen. One, there might be a massive arbitrage opportunity between TitanX and Hyper, which is going to eat a crap ton of the TitanX supply. And there's some massive magic that is going to happen inside of the Hyper buy and burn. So Hyper will add another level of buying and burning to TitanX. For the people that don't know, TitanX is hyperinflationary and then it's designed to go to hyperdeflationary. So we're currently in the initial supply distribution phase. So currently it's hyperinflationary. Most of the miners that actually came out were between day 1 and day 15, 16. So most of the show-and-tell people are gone. Now we have a hardcore believer community. And once Hyper goes live, a lot of the non-believers are going to start believing. So this is something very interesting that everybody needs to understand when it comes to Titan. The Ethereum cost for miners goes up 0.08% every day. TitanX mineable goes down 0.35% every day. T-rank bonuses go down 0.35% every day, and the share rate goes up 0.03% every day. So it's becoming massively deflationary very, very quickly, and you can see it on these charts here. And everybody should read this. This is the absolute key to understand. If you're in Hyper, if you're in Titan, trying to do short-term miners, you're probably not going to end up doing just fine. Like, most of the people who mined for like 12 days are still at a profit if you include the T-rank bonuses. But that's probably not going to be the case going forward. You want to do long-term miners and you want to give the ecosystem time to form and develop. And a big part of that is going to be Hyper, which we're going to release more details on that soon. But Hyper is going to create a massive, massive, massive supply shock on TitanX liquid and stake supply. And when you get a massive supply shock, there's going to be big arbitrage opportunities between TitanX and Hyper, which is going to burn a massive amount of supply. And Hyper will have a triple burn effect and some magic happening in the buy and burn that I've never seen anybody do before, but it's absolutely brilliant. And I'll share more details on Hyper soon. But when you look at mining, so if you do a 280-day miner now, you're making 867% ROI while the price is at a relative low. This is insane. If you put 100 grand in, you're walking away with roughly 960 grand. That's crazy. People are complaining about price. Nothing has been built at all. Zero. TitanX is just completely MVP bare bones right now. So imagine what happens when something starts building. Also, when it comes to the payouts, we have a $1.2 million payout happening on day 28, which is roughly 15 days from now. So that's going to be another big supply shock because there's not much supply coming out between now and day 28. There's some supply coming out on November 25th. Hyper is relatively close. When I say relatively close, I mean like a month or two, maybe 3, probably before 3 months. But things are going to look very, very exciting. Right now, all you want to do is mine. Don't try to play around with the market price unless you're like trading in and out, which is totally fine. But if you're buying on market to hold, probably not the right time to do it. We're currently in a hyperinflationary stage, so you should be focused on mining. Mining, if you can look at mining as buying it at a very low cost. So for example, you're buying 1.6 billion Titan X for $406, which is currently worth 3,917 if you were to buy it on market. So you can get it almost 9x or almost close to 10x cheaper, but just starting a miner and waiting a bit of time and giving the ecosystem time to breed and build and kind of develop. And Hyper is going to play a massively critical part in that, and it's going to set the precedent for other projects building on top of Titan X. And that's when the fun really, really begins. So I just wanted to record this video. I'll do more content going forward, doing live streams and stuff with people. This is beautiful. Titan X is now fully decentralized with the V2 buy and burn. V1 will keep doing what it's doing in completely unpredictable ways, so no one can abuse it. It acts as a guardian and backstop to the ecosystem. But things are about to get very, very exciting. And if you want to participate in Titan X, the best, in my opinion, the only way to do it is by starting miners. Don't play around with the market price. Miners. The next difficulty increase happens in the next 12 hours. So if you want to get your miners in, you want to do it now, and you have to skew long term. Don't try to do 10-day miners. Don't try to do 20-day miners. Go at least 60 days. At least 60 days, and then all the way up to 280 days. And you'll probably end up being just fine, especially if you're here for the hyper launch. So things are about to get very exciting.